rearranging and stuff. He helped me do the rearranging, so now I got to help him build a stove cover for an order he's got. So I'm gonna do that right quick, and we'll just let y'all kind of muster up if anybody's gonna make it. And I'm gonna go cut this for him so he can get to sanding because he doesn't trust my saw. You can talk to him if you want.
Cut it right quick, do some sand.
You gonna hold this or don't drop off? That piece ain't going nowhere. You got it from there?
I got it from here.
What's up? Yeah, look over there at the space, guys. Like I got so much more space now. Klein does have half a load of lumber, also, but yeah, I got me some space finally. Went and got a toolbox. It really hurt my feelings to buy that thing, but man, it has consolidated a lot of my stuff that I had piled up in some old cabinets and stuff over there. So it's looking a lot better. And right now I'm building a file also while I talk to you guys. Because Klein also come over here to build a stove cover and didn't bring his file with him. So he's like, you mind building a file while I'm doing this? So I'm over here building a file. What's up, Terry from Texas? How are you? Let's see if I can make this screen a little bigger here so I can see a little more. Well, why am I? But yeah, it looks a lot more. There's actually an echo in here now. I don't know. Uh, Somebody in Klein kind of insinuated I might have a hoarding problem when it comes to wood. I don't know what that's about.
Well, I have a whole truckload of wood that I'm gonna take back to my shop. And there's still all kinds of wood still left over here. So
Yeah, I still got some wood left, but I did let Klein, since he come and helped me, I paid him with 2 things of stain that he was wanting and a whole bunch of lumber. So that was his pay for work today.
there you go.
I'm just supporting his habit and enabling him a little bit. What's up, Keith? Central Florida. I guess that's Central. Citra? Okay. Citra may be a real place in Florida. Uh, I'm doing good. I'm a little tired. Like, we had to empty everything out of that side of the shop. Move all the tools over from that I had hanging on the wall and everything. Get everything thrown into the toolbox. I'm not going to say we got it organized in the toolbox. We got it thrown into the toolbox, and got it kind of. It's workable for right now. So we're just gonna go with that. Well, Klein doesn't drink nothing but Dr. Pepper, and he always brings Dr. Pepper with him, so I can't really get him on that one.
Yeah, I'm not a beer drinker.
So yeah, you can't tempt him with a 6 pack unless it's Dr. Pepper Day. You get us some 6 pack of Dr. Pepper, you'll get his attention.
I always
Uh,
try to get him to pay me in supplies. If he's gonna
you
pay
might
me,
have to get closer. This matter of fact, maybe turn that dust collector off. Grab that remote and turn that air filter off. It's probably hissing in the back, all the way over there on by my pegboard. Let me go get the dust collector
yeah,
remote.
'cause I'm looking. I walk behind something. Yeah, there we go.
That might help.
When I come over here and help him do jobs for him, he kind of, I'd rather him just pay me in supplies if he's going to pay me something and go from there. So he always supports my habit at home.
Yep. Okay, so Citra is in Central Florida. Ooh, that's a tongue twister. But back's doing good, and so far I've recovered pretty well. It's a good thing because when I went to Lowe's to get my toolbox, I told them, I was like, "Look, guys, I just had back surgery. I'm gonna need somebody to help me unload this thing so that my wife don't get mad at me." And they sent me like 2 kids that they weren't up to the task. So before they dropped my toolbox, I had to jump in there and help them. Luckily, it didn't take a whole lot, but I got it on there. And then when I got home with it, I got a tractor, I got forks on the tractor. I took a piece of plywood and just made me like a little porch on the forks. Pulled up there to where I could drive basically from the tailgate across the forks on that piece of plywood that I used some other lumber and stuff to sturdy it up. And had Brandy drive the truck out from under the tractor, and then I lowered it down to the ground off of the plywood onto the concrete, and in the shop it came. But that thing's heavy. It's really heavy now. Oh, really heavy now. Nobody's gonna. If anybody comes in here and runs out with that, I'm not stopping them because it's got tools and parts, and it's just slap full of stuff. There's 30 pounds of hammers in there. I didn't even know I had that many hammers. Klein, on this little reef thing, how particular is she on that? Because that's going to be a.
I figure we just get close.
Okay. I was going to say, because that's going to be a little bit of a booger bear to try to find that.
We can just get close to it. I think we'll be all right.
All right. Everything else I can build. I'm going to have to find that. But, yeah, everything, like I said, everything's going good. Freedom Farms, waiting on your S1. Well, hang on. Let me show y'all something. Let me reposition a camera so I can show y'all something. I'm taking your camera. Come on. That don't work. Let me see if this is not, maybe it's not an upside down. Oh, it's upside down. Give me a minute. All right, see if this is right. Okay, yeah, check that out. So yeah, you can aim it. So that's part of my work area that y'all don't see a whole lot of, but you'll notice the Mon port got kicked off the island. And I like having the Mon port, but it is now over there on a roller cart because I don't use it very often. And so I put it on the roller cart and took the S1 off the roller cart and put it over here on the other side of my second enclosure. So now I have the S1, this enclosure, and then the enclosure Zilla. All three can be used on jobs. Because that thing that I made for May May the other day, I went to her website to see how many she had left, and it says she sold out of them. So I look to be hearing from May May again soon. And last time I had to run 3 machines to cut all those out. So I decided that the Mon port, since I don't do acrylic often, it was more suited to be on the cart than it was to be in the assembly line here. And then of course I've got to get some ventilation set up for this guy, but I got it over here now, and I got the fiber on the other side of the ladder there on a cart. So I can roll the fiber around here, because those are the Mon port and the fiber are 2 machines that I don't use as often. So they are on wheels now so that I can roll them around here, do what I need to do, package them back up, and put them back up and get them out of the way. So I'll have the Rolly, I'll have the enclosure Zilla, this enclosure, and the S1 that I can use on my bulk jobs. And now that I've got my S1 jig kit working, that thing was a game changer. You gonna have to, this is not the name that you need, right? You just gonna or here, but yeah, it's it's a mess. It's much better. What's up, Chris? How are you? Eugene, yeah, I got a few lasers. I got a few. For some of y'all that haven't seen it a whole lot, hang on, I'll pan around here. But yeah, that's the shop. That's my man door there that I come in and out of, coming into the shop. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Camera's getting away from me. And then as you go across, there's that's the Clack Shack Command right there. And then the back wall, that's the corner of the building that most of you are familiar with. But like I said, now I've got the S1 over here on the assembly line so that I can use it. So, but yeah, that's a full view of the shack. So now you know if you had never saw it all. Brent, trust me, bro. You're gonna have some shows like that. A lot of times at these shows, you are a victim of whoever is marketing them, and you will learn over a period of time which shows will carry a big group of people and which ones won't. We had a couple of people here this past matter of fact, in the fall season, they sprung up a couple of events and they tempted a few of my fellow event goers to to do the event, and they didn't. The folks that I talked to weren't real impressed with how much business they had. So that's gonna happen when you're doing somebody else's event. You just gotta hope that they did an adequate enough job that you're going to get some customers, and that's not always the case. I've been to some events that were great, and I've been to some that their advertising obviously was not on point, and I've been to some that were really good events, but then weather showed up. So you're going to have those. You just gotta learn from them and try to figure it out and keep going. That just happens. I mean, I'd love to tell you that every show you do is going to be great and wonderful and you're going to make thousands of dollars, but that is not how it happens. Or if it is how it happens for you, please, write a book, send me notes, whatever you're doing, because that's not how it works for me. My very first few events were a bit, I won't say terrible, because I did learn a lot from them, but they were not very profitable. Let's use that word. They weren't very profitable. And Klein, how was your first event?
My first event. Now we were there for an hour and a half. It was a teacher event, and I'm a teacher, so we weren't there very long. It was a dinner, and they had some, just a few vendors, and I mean, I done all right. I was just kind of selling ornaments and did pretty decent, just for the short amount of time I was there.
I was gonna say, did you make enough to retire on?
Oh no. No, I say I made a couple $100 there. I mean, it was all right. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But now the learning experience is where the money was at. I mean, if you think about it, just learning what to do and how to talk to folks, and how to set your stuff up and go from there. What you need in the future. How to get stuff from the car to the site. I mean, there was a lot of things that I just didn't know how to do.
Yep.
So because I'd never done that, so it helped. Doing that first one helped a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I would never say that any event is a waste of time as long as you learn something from it. That's the biggest thing that I would say is just learn from it and go from there. I mean, like I said, it hurts your feelings. It really does when you put in the work and you got all your stuff and you go through it. I mean, that's why I'll always say, as long as I can just make my gas money back, I'm good. That's where I'm at on that. We got a software not working here.
We how do I set this thing 22 and a half? I got it all the way back.
You got to move the fence, unhook the fence, and make sure you got it in the furthest holes on the side. I'm having to teach him how to work my table saw now. Hang on. Make sure the pins are lined up on both sides.
Okay, I got it.
And then clamp it back down.
Well,
Yeah, it's that you just got to make sure you get the pins lined up. There you go. All right, he figured it out. But but yeah, it's M1 to the S1, and that's a whole nother thing. The M1 does the cutting stuff, and the S1 will not. So if using a cutting blade is something that you're wanting, then the S1's not going to do that. But it is a beast of a laser, though. I'll give you that. Good evening, Minnesota. How are you? I'm having problems with some software over here. I haven't used it in forever. Yeah, it's gonna be loud, guys. It's gonna be loud for a minute. Hang on, I'll mute y'all for a second. He's trying. Woo, that was noisy. If you don't use the cutter, then you probably won't miss it. The S1 out of the box is probably going to be a little different than what you're used to if you're used to working with a camera. I strongly recommend, and I know I'm a little biased on this. You might want to take somebody else's word for it, but I strongly recommend you look and give my jig kit a look. I'm gonna be doing some more videos on it hopefully this week. I just had to take today, guys, and get this shop straightened up. It everything that I do in here had evolved to the point to where a lot of the stuff that I had in here was just getting in the way, and so I had to get that done. We were tripping over stuff, and with my recent back surgery, a trip was not something that I wanted to have happen. So I did some cleaning, some organization. Finally, bit the bullet and bought me a toolbox, which really hurt my feelings, but it's a nice toolbox, and it gave me a lot of extra room. And using this as an actual business, room is one of those things I need a lot of. Well, Tony, I appreciate it. Freedom, I appreciate it as well. I've also and I can't show you because I don't have a camera over there, but I'll show you what I did. And I'm surprised nobody actually brought my attention to it, but I didn't have a square. You got that sanded yet?
No, I'm waiting on you to get to talk.
Oh, I'm building a file. If I get the file built and you ain't got it sanded, we're going to have to wait on that.
You gonna be able to talk to me, Sam?
Yeah. But this is what I wound up coming up with. And so if you've got my jig kit, cut yourself a little 90-degree square like that, and it makes a really good squaring jig for doing cutting boards and stuff like that, especially like little one-off things. And it just drops down in there flush with the surface using the spacer, and you go from there. But he is being a little noisy. I'll try to speak up a little bit. Maybe the background not too bad. But I gotta have a stove cover over there. Well, Mark, I'm not looking at getting a big CO2 right now, but I am really considering getting myself a bigger CNC. So that's kind of what I'm trying to work in, is be able to get that, give me a CNC up and going. But hopefully he'll be through sanding in a minute. Okay, well, I was a little concerned. I'm trying to block this mic. This mic's supposed to be highly directional, so I was trying. But I am looking at getting me a different CNC. I'm still torn on which one I want to get, but it's going to be a 4 foot by 2 foot, whatever I wind up with. I've made up my mind on that. And I'm building a file, so if I'm a little distracted, I'm sorry. But I'm trying to get this file built for him so that once he gets the sanding done, we'll be able to move on with this burn. Hey, is that gonna work? Is that gonna work as far as the font? Yeah. Okay. I mean, it ain't exact, but...
Well, it don't have to be exact. It just needs to be close.
But, you speak now or forever hold it. But,
yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah, I agree, Posey. As long as I can maximize my space, that's what I try to do. And eventually, I hope to one day be able to save up enough money that I can break ground on a new shop. But It's gonna be a while before I can do that. So right now, I'm just making do with what I got, trying to maximize the space best I can, and make as much money as I can with this space, so that I can afford to build me a new one day. That's the plan, anyway. That is the plan. I should have put like 300 grit on that sander before I gave it to him. I don't know about the work, the storefront. I couldn't get anything done if I had a storefront. That's the hard part. Ever thought about building my own? Oh no, I don't want to build my own CNC. I went down that rabbit hole with the whole sawmill thing, and it is my opinion that I will leave that to the professionals, because there are a lot of things that all these companies they have worked out the problems that I'm going to have to try to work out, and so I would rather just let them do the legwork for me and buy it. The time that it would take me to work through all of the issues and stuff that would come up, I could have paid for the machine and lost revenue from doing my jobs. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I don't want to take away from me turning out work to build it and then just gobble up hours, because hours are money. And the more time I spend doing something and not doing what I need to be doing, then I lose money. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. Let me look at the comments here. Well, right now I'm just trying to get caught up. I don't have any more events coming up. I do have some ideas that I'm gonna throw out there for some content for you guys. I've made, yeah, he's trying to be noisy now. I've made a lot of different files that I have at my disposal if I need something for Christmas. But my plan is to, I do have a couple of ideas that I want to share with you guys, but yeah, I think he's intentionally being noisy now. That's what it sounds like. I'm a little distracted trying to do this file while I'm doing this. But hopefully he'll be done in a second. Woo! Yeah, much better. Much better, Klein. You being noisy over there, man. All right, I'm trying to figure out. You said it don't have to be the same, right? You ain't worried about that?
It just needs to be clear.
All right. I don't really want to copy nobody's stuff too much. Wondering if the real money is in making laser tables with modular air partition. Not sure I'm following what you're talking about. You talking about me building stuff? The problem I have with building stuff and shipping it out of my general area is, one, I ain't got time to be shipping stuff right now because I'm still working my full-time job. But two, I don't have anywhere to keep a bunch of stuff until I do get a chance to ship it out. Having problems running the Genmetsu 440 every time I try to start the car, I get status errors. Make sure that if you on the Genmetsu, if you trigger the limit switches, it'll lock the machine out. And if you use the little controller that comes with it, look for a unlock icon and go over that unlock icon and make sure to unlock it. If it's pressed up against the limit switches, make sure to take the hand, by hand, move move it away from the limit switches. And with the Genmitsu, the way that you know that limit switches are pressed is there's a blue light on the 4040 that comes on when the limit switch gets pressed. And if you see a blue light on any one of your axes, then you need to make sure that you're off the limit switches, hit the unlock button, and then it should be good. I lock mine all the time, especially with the Z-axis, and I have to go in and unlock it. It does that to prevent damage in the machine, but it can be a bit annoying if you do it too often. But try that, check that, and see if that's what's causing it. If not, you may want to check your driver. It does take I think it's the CH340 driver, same as a lot of the lasers use. So, just one of those things that you learn if you run that thing long enough. You'll learn the little I guess you could say quirks about it, but it will lock and not let you move it. If you're running it with easel the run screen will go from green to blue on the navigation screen, and that lets you know you need to unlock it. And in easel, there's you can home it and it'll automatically unlock it sometimes, and then sometimes you just have to tell it to force unlock. Hey, you want to close that enclosure right there? Yeah, much better.
Don't try to home it. I'm gonna raise it up.
Well, if it's A7 now, you better set that. Trying to tear up my machine. He's over here trying to put a stove cover in there and ain't adjusted the focus. Trying to make me drag it. So, olive. Posted a picture. See, I told y'all, Jack. Everybody makes fun of me for these stove covers. I'm telling you, if you ever get them out there, somebody sees somebody got one, and they're like, "Oh, I gotta have one of them." How about that right there, Klein? Is that close?
That's close.
I mean, is that close enough? It's gonna be kind of fat when we blow it up, as big as it needs to be. Oh, how about? I can actually, no, I can change it. Let me hang on. Let me tweak it. I can change the dimensions and make it look a little different. Y'all, Klein ain't even asked me how much I was gonna charge him for this.
I figured he'd just put it on my tab.
Got me 44 watt JTech. 44 watt JTech. That sounds like that might be a little powerhouse there. 44 watt anything is pretty robust. All right, let me get this. Trace image. Okay. Look at that. Look what I did right there. You see that? Did you see what I just did?
Yeah. To be honest with you, I like that better.
I mean, I can do using the offset tool. I can actually go in a little bit with that.
Yeah, go
Let's
in.
say,
Don't
like,
look so bulky, but
2 millimeters. And delete the outer shape, the remaining shape. Oop, too much.
I was gonna say
2 millimeters was a little much there,
yeah, a
Klein.
little much.
How about that?
Yeah, I think that's.
And I mean, I don't have them grouped, so I can. Well, I do have them grouped. All right, give me just a second, guys. Trying to work my magic here. And see, we can actually shrink those down a little bit, and
You might want
one of my leaves fell off. All right, give me just a second, guys. Hey, you read comments while I'm working here, since you got me to working.
All right.
Let me know. I seen Brandy in there. Is Brandy in there?
Brandy's in there.
All right, don't mention nothing we're gonna buy or anything like that.
I think your buying days is over right now for a little while.
Don't talk about the CNC clone. Brandy's sensitive to the CNC right now.
Yeah,
Charge him.
I could tell she was a little sensitive about it.
Mm, it's Steve's fault. The whole CNC, the whole CNC rabbit hole is because of Steve.
Well, I mean, you gotta blame it on somebody. You might as well blame it on Steve.
Steve made his goal the other day too, guys. I appreciate that. If you were in here when we were goal hunting for Steve, that was awesome. He is now at his what did he call it? His bonus goal or his he called it something. I don't forgot what he called it. What's up, Steve Weaver? I had to specify which Steve I'm talking to.
Yeah.
All right. This is your design, so I'm gonna let you to be the deciding factor on this. It looks a lot like what you wanted. I just gotta get everything centered. What do you think?
Looks pretty good. Let me take a
You gonna take a picture and send it? He gonna take a picture and send it to the customer to make sure they approve before we burn it in this soap cover.
Well, I like to do that, and I know Clark is the same way.
I was gonna say I do it too. I mean, if they don't respond though, what we gonna do? Roll the dice.
Let's we'll play that by ear. Well,
Stretch goal.
I sent it to you. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what he said. It was a stretch goal. I thought when I saw stretch, I thought she was talking about sketch. I thought she was talking about how I got the toolbox off the back of the truck because she called it sketchy. I hear you, Steve, with your Onefinity CNC. Uh huh. Well, I am torn right now between the Onefinity and the new what's that machine called? Oh my gosh, it works with it's made to work with easel. Hang on, I can't remember. The Inventable, is it? No, it ain't Inventables. Yeah, it is Inventables. Let's see, what's it called? The X-Carve Pro. That's what and I've looked at that long mill thing, but I'm really digging the X-Carve Pro and the Onefinity. It's kind of coming down to those two guys. And I'm really, to be honest with you, in the past few days, I've started leaning more toward the X-Carve because of easel. Because I do know that I'm not going to be able to run easel with the Onefinity. So that's and I like easel, and I've got a lot of designs in easel already. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
She saw it. So
She saw it.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
No
for the
word.
response back.
No word yet. We're waiting on a response. Waiting on a response. It's like waiting on a woman. That 44 watt Onefinity. I've got V-Carve also, but the easel for simple stuff, it's just like in and out done. So if I'm doing something more complex or doing something with the fourth axis, then I have to break out V-Carve. And I like V-Carve. V-Carve kind of has a lot of the same tools in it as Lightburn does. So I'm not sold out to either software, but I do like easel for being able to pull up my projects and just burn them quick. Now, if I didn't have the internet connection that I have, then I probably wouldn't feel that way, but I have a gig of internet out here in the shop, thanks to me burying some wires. So being online is not really, it's not really a problem for me. Klein. Any word?
Oh, love it.
Love it. We gotta love it, guys. So we gotta love it. So therefore, we are going to go ahead with this burn. So I need to rotate that 90 degrees. And you see how I'm doing this? I'm using one of my already made stove cover designs. And then I'm gonna click that one, and I'm gonna click that one, and I'm gonna use this center button to just throw it over top of it. I've made them 2 different colors, and therefore I can delete that entire layer. Boom, and we're perfectly centered. And I'm gonna home the machine. Eddie, turn the machine, turn it off and on. Oh, wait a minute. No, hang on. I just got the wrong port selected. Please say, what's up with the machine?
It's on. I've already turned it on.
Yeah, I had the wrong port selected.
You tried to blame that on me, or wasn't me?
Well, no, it ain't wanting to connect. Just power it off.
Here.
Just push the power button on the machine. All right, now hit it again. Now we're good. No, I opened like 3 or 4 different windows of Lightburn. I probably confused it. Steve, the Rolly's pretty nice. You can see I had to move it closer to me so I could use it more because I'm out of space.
Well, he can't say that now because we just freed up a whole bunch of space.
Well,
We can now line lasers up in the middle of the floor here if we need to.
well, we can't run them in the floor though, Clown.
Well,
I've got to put one more vent in for some exhaust, but other than that, I should be good. Laser files. Hang on. Libraries. All right, so I'm gonna frame this. You want to look, make sure you like where it's at.
you're right in the middle of it.
Well, it should be. I'm just yours before I hit the button. Make sure it work. Does that work for you?
Let me let you look at it first and make sure that it's normal. If it's normal, then I'm good to go.
All right, look. Let me just do it. I don't ever. Look. Watch. This is how I do mine. All right. Look, I'll take, like, I can open up my home sweet home. I burnt one of them today or yesterday. All right. So see this circle right here?
Mm-hmm.
See, all I'll do here is I'll take that. Oop. Basically, I'm going to make all of this a tool line. Follow me?
I'm following you.
All right. I'm going to bring your design in, and then I'm going to hold control, and I'm going to click on this other line here, and then I'm going to bullseye these guys. It's going to put it perfectly in the center, and then I'm going to delete that layer. So
Okay.
if it was my stove cover, I'd send it as long as the machine's home.
Well, let's send it.
I've made hundreds of them in there, and I ain't messed one up yet.
Oh, I know. And that's why I said, if you'll look at it,
All
you
right,
like
so
it.
we'll
then
run 130 and 100, and you got my focus set.
I got your focus set. We're good to go.
All right, sending it. Turn the air assist on. All right, sending it. All right, it's gonna be a minute now. We got it running now.
I'm
So,
already like it.
whew. That was stressful, guys. Trying to do something for somebody else. If it's mine, see, I just crank them out. All right, so I can minimize that. Now we can actually talk about the live. All right, so what do y'all think?
hop out of the way so they can see.
It does look a lot better. Watch this right here. I got room all the way over here. See? I mean, I got room I can walk now. Yeah, it's a little dusty still, and there's a little bit of echo. It's like I got all that wood out of here from where Brandy had been hoarding wood over there, and it's just like I got more room. I got enough room. I could build a kitchen table right here now, which is awesome. I don't know if I hadn't showed all y'all this. Oh, wait a minute. You can't see it. All you can see is the back of my head.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta get me a different angle. But back towards the door, I actually got a good bit of room now. So, no, it's not a bigger shack. I just got some organization going. Got me a toolbox over there, rearranged some stuff. All those places where I had my tools hanging on the wall from back in the day when this was a pole barn. I actually got me a toolbox to put them in, and it's doing a lot better. Doing a lot better. Hang on, let's turn this around. Now you should be able to see it. See, look at all that space right there by the door. That's awesome right there. Got my S1 up there. Got it ventilated so I can use it on jobs. And all I'm waiting on now is I ordered another section of 4-foot hose for this machine for the Rolly. But I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to go up and I'm going to put me another vent in the back of the building and just kind of run it through there somehow. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that yet, but I think that's what I'm going to do. It's 20 foot that way and 24 foot this way. So it's 20 by 24. It's not huge, but it's not small as some folks have either. So I would love to have, and I hope one day, if Lord blesses me enough, to be able to build myself maybe like a 25 by 50, and then I'll just like have all kinds of extra room. I could even put me like a bunk bed in there where I could sleep there if I wanted to. Maybe like a little kitchen. But yeah, it's getting better. Like I said, my problem was I hate to throw away a good looking piece of wood. And so when I mill some lumber up there and I bring it down here and I cut a piece off of it for something and I got a piece of it left, I like to keep it because I'm like, I can make something cool out of that. Well, it tends to pile up, guys. And Klein's got like half a truck load of pieces of wood he's taking home with him to make some projects out of. And I burned a lot. I don't know how much. There was just some small pieces and some pieces that, weren't ideal. I went ahead and burned those. But yeah, it feels a lot roomier in here now than what it was. And so that's what I'm trying to accomplish, so I'm happy. But I still got to get, as soon as I can get back on the sawmill, I got to cut me a couple more wall boards to put where my heater used to be right there, where that tin is now. 'Cause that tin just bothers me when I look up and see it. But yeah, the shack definitely got an upgrade this go around. And like I said, I kind of owe Klein helping him build this stove cover because he come over and helped me do all this stuff. Anything that was too heavy or whatever, I could let him do it. Which I don't think we really didn't have anything that heavy. That 3030 Pro Ver over there was a little bit heavy, but it wasn't too bad. I can handle it. But yeah, it's much better. I gotta clean all the dust up now because we stirred up a lot of dust. I found, man, there was so much sawdust under the stuff that I moved. I had to break out the big shop vac. It was awful. Yeah, North Alabama. She's threatened because I told her I was going to put a bathroom out here somewhere, and she's like, "Well, if you do that, I won't ever see you, so you don't need to do that." But yeah, my new shop is hopefully it'll probably be, I'm looking at 2 years. It'll be after I retire before I have the time to do it because I do want a modern built shop. I don't want something like this. Because this literally was a pole barn, and I've just off my sawmill, I have slowly built it into a building. It is not the best insulated building you've ever been in. And from the outside, it's not the most appealing building. It's not terrible, but it's not the most appealing. So I want a modern looking exterior on my new building, but I still want my wall boards. So I'm gonna have to do a whole bunch of milling. Robert, that's for what I do. Let's put it this way, Robert. I try to figure out how to make money with what I have. Uh, I would not mind having a big, massive CO2 laser that could just rip through materials at 25 millimeters a second. I mean, I wouldn't mind that, but it's like me and Brandy have discussed. Realistically speaking, with 3 or 4 diode machines, I can crank out enough stuff to make as much money as I want to. As far as like, if I keep these machines running all the time, I can make the same amount of money as I could if I had one CO2 over there running. So to me, it's just all in what you're wanting to do with it. I keep the Monport around because in the event that I do need to cut some acrylic, I have it. But I'm not against a bigger CO2, but I'm not going to go out and spend a whole bunch of money on one right now. If I had something that I was turning out weekly that was more than I could handle with my diodes, then I might go get me one. But it would have to be a sustainable revenue stream that would justify the expense before I'm going to go do it. Because right now my overhead is minimal. Like, you know, I can literally, you know, take and like keep most of my money that I make off of doing jobs and stuff because I just pay my power bill, my taxes, and all the government fees and licenses and all that stuff, and I don't have a whole lot in a bigger machine. But now, like I said, it depends on what you're doing with it. Depends on your situation. You may want a big CO2. I mean, I've got a 37-inch work area on a diode right here that's doing a stove cover as we speak, and it just doesn't make sense. The X2S1's not a bad machine. It's a really fast machine. Now, I will tell you, if you're trying to run real fast speeds, stay away from the edges of the workspace with your designs, because that's one thing that I have noticed is the new software will actually tell you that your graphic is close enough to the edge that you're not going to be able to do it at the speeds that you put in. But if you stay in the middle of the workspace, it can fly through some stuff. Yeah, Jack, that's not a terrible expense if you can do that. I'm looking at eventually getting me a CO2, but the ones that have the features that I want are kind of pricey, and I don't have the room for it at the moment. So I'm just going to kind of hold off. I do want, however, a 4x2 CNC because I have to turn down a lot of CNC jobs that if I had a bigger work area, I wouldn't have to turn down. I usually send those over to my buddy Tip because Tip has a 4 foot by 2 foot Shapeco, I think it is. And so I'll usually send any CNC jobs that I have to him that I can't handle. Now, or either I'll sell them on a 16-inch sign instead of a 24-inch sign. Because I can do a 16-inch sign. And matter of fact, my OCD just started bothering me. I realized I left my bit sitting in the middle of the CNC. What's up, Bow? Oh, I'm gonna butcher this. Bowavina? No, I run. I got a whole bunch of USB hubs. My machine itself has 16 USB ports. It's got a USB card in the PCI slots. It has 4 on the front and I think 12 USB ports on the back. About half of those are USB 3. And then I also have USB cabling ran over to there, as well as out to the side, and I have hubs on those. The USB 3 hub that's over there is actually a powered hub, so that I can run USB 3. But yeah, I have a whole lot of USB cables ran everywhere, but I run everything off this one machine right here. Now it is a pretty good sized machine, but I consistently run 3 machines at a time off of it. Yeah, I've got Easel Pro. I paid for the subscription, I guess you could say. And I've looked at the X Carve, the regular X Carve, but the X Carve Pro, I think would be better for what I'm wanting to do. I want to be able to do sheets of plywood and make things like what are those things called that they throw the little bag, the boards. It's like a little hacky sack. They throw it. Cornhole, cornhole. Yeah, I have people all the time wanting custom cornhole boards with, with engraving in them, and I want to be able to cut cornhole boards and stuff like that, and put custom engraves in them, backfill it with epoxy, that type of stuff. And the only way to do that is to get a 4-foot workspace. And so I've been watching some guys that's one of the things that they do, and seeing what machines they're using and how it works. And so that's kind of why I'm leaning more towards the one that works with Easel, because it's really, I like the way it works. Not against the Onefinity. The Onefinity is actually a little cheaper, but yeah, Dennis, I do that with G-Code on the little 3030 over there. I export to G-Code and run stuff on it. That's why it's sitting over there by itself with no USB or anything, because I simply just drag and drop to the SD card, and then run the G-Code over there. So I can do that, but I love being able to control it from over here with Easel and set everything up, adjust my feed speeds and stuff while I'm doing the job. I like that functionality. That's the one thing that's kind of, since I've been doing a lot of research, it's kind of pulling me over that way. Dennis, I'm going to be honest with you. Now that I've got my jig system and I've got the and everything, I don't know that the P2 can run with the S1 the way I've got mine configured right now. It might cut a little faster, but batching stuff out, the P2 is not going to be able to. If I'm doing, let's say I'm doing, let's see, what's one of the things that I do that takes a lot? Like the next batch of pens that I do for my events, if I'm doing like 100 ink pens, I would be just about willing to bet I could smoke the P2 with the S1 or any of my other machines with the jigs, because I run jigs on everything. So placement of items is not a problem for me. And with the little, now that I've learned how to use the crosshairs on the S1, I'm getting some serious accuracy with my jig kit. I'm going to do a video and show y'all that and demonstrate that to y'all. Hopefully this coming up week. But what is it? Buy it so I can say I told you so later. What are you talking about buying? You talking about the CNC or the what? I mean, I'm not against, like I said, I'm not against the P2, but I'm not going to run out and spend that kind of money on the P2. I could get 2 S1s for the price of a P2, and the only advantage I would have would be able to cut acrylic, and of course then I'd have to figure out how to build a jig kit for the P2, which would definitely have to happen. There's not a machine came in here yet that I haven't built a jig kit for that works remarkably well. So, yes, I actually do. I just last week released my S1 jig kit, and it's still evolving, and that's one of the things that as I use it, the more I use it, the more stuff I build for it, and so forth and so on. That's one of the things that's kind of been a game changer, because I'm not going to lie, when I first got the S1, I was disappointed because I was used to my D1, and it just wasn't cutting it for me. So I decided that I just kind of put it on the back burner. I did a couple of jobs with my other machines with the S1 just sitting here because it wasn't capable of doing the jigs like I was wanting. So then once I got my jobs caught up, I figured out how to build a jig system for it. And there's a video, if you go to my Etsy shop, the video kind of demonstrating the system and how it goes together and how it works is in the description on Etsy. So now it's just a file. There is an XCS file in there. And if you download it and you're looking at the XCS file, look down at the bottom where your canvas layers are, your canvases are. Each canvas is a different part of the system, and you just got to glue it together, and put it together. And once you get it in there and you get it like it's supposed to be, it's awesome. I've got mine now set up to do bamboo cutting boards as well, using this little squaring jig that I just created, and it's doing a really, really good job. I mean, that thing's fast. I can engrave bamboo at like 400 millimeters a second with it and get a good burn. So I'm liking that about it. But now this guy, once I start working it into the mix, which I haven't done yet, I guess I still got a bunch of testing to do. But the Rolly, I actually have the jig panel that they sell with it, which is awesome. And so I'm gonna set the jig panel up for it, and just I'll actually be able to use some of my other jig files, or like the ones that I made for the S1 using the Rolly. I've figured out how I can actually use them with either machine. So tray. But yeah, if you go check out, like I said, go check out the Etsy shop. It's in there. It's now people are asking me, why did you only make it 10 inches? Why did you only make? You can actually expand it and use more than 10 inches by using different design techniques. But the 10 inches in the middle is, to me, it allows you to use the higher speeds without having to turn the power down. And yes, Brian, I did. That's what the live was about, guys. I mean, I just literally, me and Klein just got through. Klein sitting over here. I had to bribe him with $30 worth of stain, a bunch of free wood, and an assist on a stove cover design to get him over here to help me clean up. And I got me a toolbox, Brian. Look, I've dreamt of having a toolbox like that my entire life. My entire adult life, I've wanted one of those. And I finally got it. And it still hurt my feelings when I swiped that card, though. Oh, my gosh. Oh, it hurt, but look how much more space I got, how much more usable area I have now. So, yeah. Brian said you're worth every penny.
I am worth every penny.
It sounds like your designs. Oh, that's gonna look good.
Well, I'll tell
You
what,
sure we can't show it?
No, we can't show it. Sorry.
Guys, it's a gift. Sorry, we can't show it.
Sorry, guys.
We can't show it. No, Brian, Brandy. I don't guess it was. Technically, it wasn't from her. The Shack bought it for the Shack. It feels like it's a Christmas present for me. I guess it's maybe, but she agreed with me that I needed it. I mean, I needed some more organization because it's getting crowded in here.
Christmas at the Clack Shack, so I
Yeah.
guess it was.
Yeah, Brandy said every day is Christmas at the Clack Shack, which
Kind of is.
kind of is some days.
Kind of is some days.
Kind of is. If Santa drove a brown truck.
Yeah.
But
I just drive by here and see if he's parked in the yard, and I know I need to whip on in here.
yeah. But no, I wanted it to be solid black, but Lowe's didn't have any, so that was solid black. So I had to get the red, silver, and black version. So. Steve, she says she's got me a Santa hat that I can wear. I mean, I guess I could get some reindeer antlers or something. Or I could get me a Grinch mask. How about that? Yeah, it's winding down. It's about done. You finna have to put that together.
Yep, it looks good.
Hey, you done got the jig out? Yeah, y'all know how I am about jigs. Check it out. And I know what you're gonna say. I could have done it on the laser, but this is my stove cover jig. And basically what this is you slide it over the stove cover panel and mark the holes so that I know every hole is always in the exact same spot on every stove cover I make. And it's got this notch back here that slips over the stove cover so that you get that absolutely correct every time. Now don't forget, this goes on the back. Remember last time you got it flipped around and we put it on the front.
Oh yeah.
So flip it upside down. We can actually show it since you got it flipped upside down. So I can show y'all the process since he's got it turned over. But yeah, ooh, my camera's all wonky.
Alright, since we don't, I don't need these two holes.
You gotta mark them. Well, what's the spacing on your handles?
Yeah, not that. No. Close.
Yeah, you better go ahead and mark them, bro. I'm trying to get it situated. There we are. All right, so Klein is now using the stove cover jig to mark his holes. The first, I don't know, 50 of these things I built, I used a ruler, and it didn't take me long to realize that if I'm gonna be making 4 or 5 of these a week, I needed a more effective means of doing it. So yeah, and the little illustration of a handle is to remind you that those 2 holes do not need to be countersunk the same way that the other ones are. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Pretty awesome. Drill the back with countersink. I've got a little countersink bit, and I'll show it to you. Hang on. This little guy. This little guy. Now you can use the drill; it's a little smoother than using an impact. But yeah, you do the back, and then countersink them down just ever so slightly, and I use lathe head screws so that they don't pull through, because this pine and similar to pine, if you don't use lathe head screws, they have a tendency to pull through, break out, or whatever. But that little bit will put just enough pilot hole through there to allow the wood not to split, and it also countersinks it. Klein, you look like you're losing your hair right there in the back, bro.
Huh?
Look like you're losing your hair in the back there.
Gosh, she's turning gray. I still got it.
But
I'm getting old.
he's not as fast at that as I am. You need me to do that?
That'd be great. I hadn't built too many of these. I can count on one hand.
Use the air hose, right?
Right here.
Hey, you missed a hole right here.
Really?
Yep, where's the jig at?
I'll put it back over here.
Once it left the handle. These little holes, you can actually take the drill part of this and mark them so that if you do hit it with a sander or whatever, your marks don't go away. There you go. There you go. Now you're gonna need to get everything else going. All right, so No, I haven't broke the rollie. The rollie's right here. I'm actually planning on using it a little bit. I didn't get a chance to use it today, but this coming up week I'm gonna be playing with it a whole bunch. So we'll see how that goes. You gonna need some rags, a rag, and some glue, and the ends. You got the ends already? Yeah, you stole my already put together. Hey, don't use that. Don't use them for glue rags. Look down at the bottom. Yeah, use the nasty rags for glue rags. But yeah, everything's going pretty good. Back's doing well. 1/4 inch cutting at 400 millimeters per minute. 2 passes. What machine you using, Brian? I'm gonna do math. Hang on. 400 divided by 60. It's 6 millimeters a second. 2 passes. Oof. Yeah, you must be using a 20 watt.
I'm gonna sand a little bit.
You gonna sand a little bit? You ain't got sand yet. All you need right now, you need to glue them. You need to get them on there, glue them up, put screws in it. Then you got to drill the holes. Well, you ain't got to drill holes for handles though, do you?
No.
Well, crap. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have marked the holes in the back then. I forgot about that. Be all right.
Yeah.
If you need to, you can actually drill those and put screws in the back if you ain't gonna be coming all the way through. You can go ahead and countersink those and put you some more screws back there if you need to, but I don't think you need to. Oh yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah. It wouldn't hurt if you wanted to do it, but if you ain't careful though, you're liable to hit them from the other side with the other screws. The 8 or 20 watt. Yeah, you still should be able to cut at 6 millimeters a second. Man, I want to look at that lens. Unless it's some, like, is it some of that birch that Steve likes so much that's hard? Yeah. Hey, y'all watch this. Just try to get it lined up. When he puts a screw in there, if he's not careful, it's going to move. You better check it after you put them screws in. But yeah, no, that's all we doing tonight. We just out here chilling in the shop, enjoying the newfound space that we got. Oh, here we go. Uh-oh. Is it gonna work? Okay, he claims he's got it perfect. I don't know about perfect, but it looked like it's all right.
It's perfect.
He's gonna need to put one in the middle and take that first one he put in out, back it out just a little bit because I do see a little bit of a crack over there where he let it push it out from. Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Oh, I see it now.
yeah. Just go ahead and put you one in the middle though, so it don't can on you or nothing. You got to you gonna do better on that one. You gotta put a little rear end on the screw. There you go. Well, yeah.
We're good.
Well, yeah, kind of. You need to do the same thing to that middle one when you get done. You're letting the screws push up. There you go. It went down. You're good. Yeah, if you're not careful when you put those screws in, because that pilot hole's not all that big, it acts like a little jack and it'll push it up. I usually overcome that by putting 220 pounds of down pressure on it.
I don't have 220 pounds. I'm a little shy at 220, I'm just saying.
Steve, you feel called out about the Baltic birch? Is that it? You like the stuff? You got my machine still on. Let me go turn it off. I ain't gonna cut nothing else. It done got late. I'm just helping you get that done. You can stain it when you just finish sanding and staining when you get home, can't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, now you can use the jig since those screw holes are so close. I'd turn it over and use the jig and only mark the handle holes. Usually, and mark them with a pencil. That way, after you get it sanded and stained, you know where the holes are. All right. Well, questions, comments, concerns, guys? Because it looks like Klein's about got this thing put together enough where he can take it home and finish it. He just wanted to get it. He's got a deadline. What'd you say tomorrow?
Yeah,
6.
I got it.
So he's got to get it put together.
I just wanted to make sure that I was doing it correctly.
And I'm kind of experienced at stove covers.
I had maybe just a handful of.
He doesn't work for food, but I will tell you right now, you can get a good bit of work out of him for a pack of 20 bamboo cutting boards. You can get a several hours out of him. Today, Klein is being paid with some red Minwax semi-transparent stain, some blue Minwax semi-transparent stain, about I don't know, half a load of wood from the sawmill, and some help with a design on the stove cover. So that was what he got paid tonight.
Just not a bad payday.
Frank, if you're having problems with losing communications with the Acer, I would check and make sure your USB ports aren't going to sleep, or your USB ports aren't going into power saving mode. That's pretty common with a lot of computers, and it will cause an issue, especially on a big burn. If it's a small burn, it seems like it doesn't cause as big of an issue. But if you get into something that takes 45 minutes or so, it can be an issue. Was on clearance at Home Depot for $12 a sheet. Yes, now some of that stuff they got at Home Depot, it is a little stubborn. But it's decent wood, but it is a little stubborn to cut. He's getting it over there. He's making it. Did you ever buy you any felt feet, or are you going to steal some of mine again?
Still some of yours.
Shh, how did I know he's going to steal mine?
We're just being honest over here today.
I figured he's gonna steal mine. I'm about out of felt feet. So, but luckily I got to make another trip to buy some stuff this week when it ain't raining.
I gotta go back. I gotta make a trip.
Jack said he created an EXE program to disable the USB sleep mode for people that can't find it in settings. That's cool. That is cool. So email Jack, message Jack. He might can help you out if you can't find it. I've got a video. If you just go to my video and type in the keyword sleep, I've got a video on how to do it in Windows. How do I keep it from warping? One, control your humidity somewhat. Don't let it get wet. Don't let it get too wet or too dry. Being said that, don't store it like directly on the ground if you're on a slab, and don't store it in front of a window if it's facing the sun, especially. But I stack mine. I've got racks underneath the machines here where I stack it, and pretty much it stays flat, and I go through it so fast it doesn't really have a chance to warp. But just lay some weight on it, and like I said, as long as the humidity doesn't fluctuate too bad, I don't have a big deal with it. Some sheets are worse than others. What are you contemplating on over there?
Go ahead and stand it here.
Go ahead and stain it here.
That way you haven't put them though, because they're not just holes that you put in. You got to screw them from the top, them handles.
Yeah, that's not an issue.
Yeah.
Hang on, guys. I can't show you the overhead view because, like I said, it is a gift. But give me just a second. I got to go in for an assist. All you got to do, instead of using all the holes, just mark. That'll get them in the middle of the board where they need to be, so they're not. You know what I mean?
Well, I just figured if
Now we can.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and put them on there and then take them off when you get home.
well, I mean,
That way the holes are there. Or you can stain it if you want to. It don't matter to me.
say we go ahead and do it here and then be done. I won't have differently.
You know where all that stuff is.
Do you have any darker shades?
I got some darker, but now how dark you want me to go?
Well, she said she.
I mean,
Walnut. Where,
well, I got some chestnut over there, but I don't know how that's gonna do with that engraved.
I don't want to go too dark. I think what we do.
Well, you put that English chestnut on there, and it'll be black.
Well, no, we don't need it black. That's the same kind of stain we use, right?
Yeah. Now I will tell you that the look on the second shelf that Vertanis or whatever early American is thicker, but it's a little no up right above your hand.
Right here.
The white one.
Yes.
Yeah, ain't that early American?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little thicker. It goes on a little sloppy, but it is just a touch darker
All right.
than the other stuff. I just did two with it the other day because I ran out of my big jug. But now it's a little sloppy, so make sure you glove up.
Man, you can feel it in here.
Yeah, it's more like buttermilk, where the others kind of like Coke. But yeah, Brady said thanks for your help today, Klein.
Hey,
By the
no
way.
problem. Anytime.
But yeah, stack it. If you stack it and weighting your materials is definitely going to help you, especially if you've got like really high or really low humidity compared to where it came from.
Are you out of gloves?
Am I out of gloves? No, I moved them. I had to move some stuff. They're over here. Is 20 watt okay? I mean the 20 watt will do pretty much everything the 40 watt's going to do. You're just not going to do it as fast. So that's going to be the biggest difference between the 20 and the 40. The 40 will probably get you a little thicker cut on a one pass, but you know, pretty much you can do the same thing. If doing it in a hurry is not a concern, the 20 it'll work for most stuff. From what I've seen, the 40 watt, it's a lot faster on engraving because you can run at higher speeds. Brandy said be sure to get you a wipe off cloth because that stuff is thick. Yeah, me and her used it last night. Last night to do them two stove covers I did last night, and it looks good, but like I said, it goes on like buttermilk. But
I don't like buttermilk.
but yeah, but it's good looking stain. So anybody got any questions or anything? Now that I'm not like building a design for Klein or anything, I'm just letting him work. He's just using my space. I need to get me like one of those little taxi cab. Was it a meter? Is that what they call it? And like put it over by the door where you punch in and you punch out, and that would work. You'd owe me too much money though. You would never pay me. Did you not sand it? Oh, you forgot to sand. All right, guys. Well, if there's anybody in here, I think I recognize most everybody. But if there's anybody in here that hasn't subscribed, liked, or shared, or followed, or whatever, do what Al over there tells you and like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. I am trying to hit, and it looks like I will. I was a little nervous for a little while there, but I'm trying to hit my goal of 20,000. I kind of want that for Christmas. That's what I want for Christmas this year, is to hit 20,000 subscribers. So I'm hoping I get it. A Klein checklist. Chris, he's actually come over here several times and built stove covers. I'm usually a little more involved in the process, and so he just feels more comfortable when he's doing them with me over here because he don't want to. Because didn't you one time cut one the wrong shot size?
I did.
Yeah.
We called it rustic.
Yeah, he cut it like an inch short one time. But I think he wound up being able to use it because of the size of the stove. But he didn't want to make that mistake today. It does have an odor to it too, but it makes some good looking wood. Now you got to put it on there thick.
Well, I'm trying to get it on.
Yeah, and I mean you need to like gob it on there good to get it dark. If that rag ain't slipping across it real easy, you ain't got enough on there.
Well, it's starting to.
There you go. What does it take to engrave a Zippo with a diode? You're not gonna do it. I tried. That is Zippos typically are brass coated with nickel, and you cannot engrave. You can't leave a mark on a Zippo with a diode. I've tried every powered machine there is. Uh, did it with the com marker. I made one with the com marker, but you're not going to do it with a diode. The com marker is the way to go. Or if you have an IR module, you could do it. I don't know how long it would take, depending on the power output of your IR module. But yeah, here's the Clack Shack Zippo, and I kind of got it some different shades on there by using different powers and frequencies. But yeah, I bought this 2 years ago to do it with a diode, and it didn't work. And so I found it in a drawer, put it in the com marker, and was able to do it. But that's a 20-watt fiber laser as opposed to a diode. Yeah, nickel is a no-go. No, I don't think CO2s will touch nickel either, Chip. I can't say for sure, never really tried that. But from what I've read, the only laser is going to be the 1064 if you're trying to do nickel. If it was solid brass, if it didn't have that nickel finish over it, you might could do something with a diode. Jig kit for the Rolly. The Rolly does not need a jig kit, unfortunately. I do like selling my jig kits, but unfortunately for me, the Rolly doesn't need one. The honeycomb itself acts as a jig, or you can buy their jig panel that is made specifically for the Rolly to be used, and this is genius. These guys, I mean, y'all know I like making my jig kits, but unfortunately with the Rolly, all you really need is a square that will fit in the corner of the honeycomb, just a square piece of wood. Shove it up into the corner of the honeycomb on the front, on this side corner of the honeycomb. Drop your item files in and go. The honeycomb itself will work as a jig. Now, this is even cooler, but technically the honeycomb will work. Because with the Rolly, ones of you that don't know, the honeycomb is stationary. The honeycomb is fixed to the frame of the machine. Therefore, the honeycomb cannot move. So if you put something in the, if you put it in the same position in the corners of that honeycomb every time, it's the same as my jig kits do. So with the Rolly, no need for a jig kit. Sorry, guys. Now, item files, you can still come buy your item files if you want and don't want to have to go through the trouble of making them. But all you really have to do with the Rolly is have a square corner on a piece of wood. And when you put it in there, when you raise this up, all you got to do is index it off of one corner or the other of this honeycomb right here. There's just enough of a shoulder to hold a piece of plywood. Once you do that, it's there. If you wanted to put some magnets or some pins or something to hold it, to keep it from sliding, that wouldn't be a bad idea. But you don't need a jig. The honeycomb or the jig panel, either one will work as good as anything I've ever made right out of the box. So I don't know if they've got the I think mine my XCS goes over 400. I'm pretty sure. It may be particular to which machine you have. But yeah, I know mine does. My X-Tool goes, let me go get my speed test.
Man, that stuff is ridiculous.
What do you mean ridiculous?
Right. I like that other stain better. It goes on a little better.
I mean, that stuff looks nice though when you get it on there. And if you put it on there real thick, it makes the darks get really dark. So it's not a bad stain. And it says it dries an hour and a half. Now, I probably wouldn't, you know, rub up against it. But I'll have to double check that. But I'm pretty sure on my XCS. Let me see. Let me turn this on. Open project. Uh, show you on my screen for a second. This is what's cool about this kit I got set up. All right, so this is my jig file that I've got for my machine, and I got business cards. I got a 4-inch. I got a square-inch jig, which basically is just to use for whatever square things I need. I actually got to reorient this. I just dropped that in there today. But I also have other canvases that are picked out. And the cool thing I like about this is let me go aim the machine at the corner of that jig panel right quick. Hang on. That little pin falling off so easy if you grab it by the wrong side is a bit annoying, but I got it put back on there. But the cool thing I like is since I've moved my laser over to the corner of my jig panel, no matter which one of these canvases I go to, it is going to show me exactly where my laser is pointed at this time. So I like that. That's pretty cool. But let me see here. Engrave. Yeah, see, mine goes up to 600. Mine will let me go all the way up to 600. So you may want to check and make sure you've got the most current version of XCS. And it may be dependent on which machine you have. It is a possibility they have it governed in the software based on the machine that you have. But the version that I'm running right now is like the latest one that they just released. I think it's 1.7 something. Hang on, let me look. 1.78. So that's the version that I have, and that should be the most current version. So there you go. But yeah, it's capable of 600 millimeters a second according to that. I do not want to save that, no. But there you go. There you go. Yeah, the S1, like I said, I was a little mad about my camera in the beginning, and I have a camera. I have figured out how to make it work, but it's going to require me to drill a hole in the top of the machine. So since I've got my jig kit put together, I think I'm just going to scrap that idea and not do it because with the jig kit, using the live tracking of the module, it's really easy for me to set stuff up. So, but I've got it in the workflow now where I ain't got to vent it out the cat door. I just got to get this guy vented, and I'll be good. I'll be able to run 3 30-watt machines and a 40-watt at the same time to help with some of my bigger orders that I get. But anyway, I think climb's about finished. That means I'm about ready to go in the house and get some supper. If I have supper. The D1 Pro 20-watt, that's good. It's a good machine. I ran one for a long time. I still have mine. I have a 10-watt and a 20-watt D1. Those are my event machines. I've got an enclosure built on my table that I take to events that I use them with. And mine are still going strong. My 2.5-year-old D1 10-watt without limit switches is still working. So, I mean, I can't knock them. Xtool has their things that I don't like, but all in all, the machines have still been running really well. He has got my shop all smelly. He didn't wipe it down good enough. I'm going to have to get on to him and get back. I see streaks. Oh, Brandy's got upper. Klein too. He went outside. Let me go inspect his stain job because it looks like he left streaks. No, bro, you're gonna have to lick that calf again.
I didn't make it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to see the lines.
Yeah. I think that stuff is hard to use.
It ain't that bad. You just gotta put it on there. Is it like that on the back?
Probably.
No, the back looks pretty good.
Okay.
You just didn't go thick enough on the front. Go thicker before it dries. Because if you don't, them lines ain't gonna come out. No, I haven't. Like I said, I haven't got to do a whole lot with the Rolly since it came in the other day. I've been having to work and had some things come up that had to be done. And today I had to clean the shop, organize, put this toolbox in here, and all that. So I haven't really had a chance to play with it a whole lot. My shop was just in disarray today. I should have took a picture when we had everything like sitting in the middle of the floor. Had stuff stacked all over my tables. I mean, I had stuff stacked on top of stuff. So I haven't got to do it yet. I haven't got to do a whole lot of nothing with the Rolly. I did some testing the other day on the live, and that's about all we've done with it so far. But I have plans this week to, hopefully in the afternoons, get some more stuff done with it. I use a 6-inch Vevor fan, and I choke them down to 4 inches, which people will tell you, oh, you're losing your CFM, which you do lose a little. But a 6-inch choked down to a 4-inch, to me, moves more air than a 4-inch by itself. And you get it. So that's what I'm running, and that's what Klein's running because I just bought him a new fan the other day for payment of some other stuff. But it's a 400 CFM fan, and then I choke it down to a 4-inch tube. So it does create a little bit of increase in pressure, but it just seems like it moves so much more air. I had a Hahnenguan 4-inch fan that I ran in my enclosure Zilla, and it did a good job. But when I went to a 30-something watt machine, it just wasn't. It wasn't keeping up. So I went to the 6-inch Vevor, choking it down to a 4-inch, using some adapters, and I've had really, really good luck with it. If you're running your tubing too far though, you may even want to put your fan closer to where the smoke's exiting the building so that you have suction on the interior of the building and then pressure on the outside of the building. Oh, every time I post a comment, Restream wants to pitch a fit. Well, thank you there, Sir Ray. Appreciate it. Make sure if you hadn't already, hit that, hit them buttons. Like Al says over here, we need you to hit those buttons. but yeah, the Ken, that is a that's a rabbit hole, Ken. It's hard for me to recommend machines to people just like in general because what you want the machine for is going to depend which machine I would think would be best for you. So I don't like just blindly recommending. The things that you need to consider is what size things are you going to want to do? How much of a time constraint are you going to be under? Is this something you're doing as a hobby? You just want to get into it and try to, feel your way through it and see if it's something you like? Or are you, working on, trying to, what you're planning on doing with the machine is definitely going to dictate which machine you get. There's a big variation in work area sizes, just such as the We Create over there. It's like a 12 by 16 work area. The X Tools, like a S1's like a 12 by 20. But then you got other machines that are expandable to 850 millimeters. So it's it really depends on what you're going to do with the machine. If you're just wanting to do tumblers, then somebody said something about the F1. If all you're going to do is tumblers, the F1 with a chuck might be all you need. But if you're wanting to do wood boxes and cut things, then you're going to want to definitely look at workspace restrictions.
All right, you want to come look at this and make sure? I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Another lightens up right here, but
Yeah,
I
like I
think
said,
that's
did you go over it real thick?
I did.
Decent.
Pretty good.
Yep.
All right.
Still see you.
You can still see my little hole.
As long as you can see where you put them screws in for them handles. Now, if you're gonna take that in your truck, you might want to make sure you put something under it because that
Yeah.
that stain could come off.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, there's a whole bunch of cardboard boxes out there. But now don't put it on anything too absorbent because it will pull that stain off there until it dries. Wife would like to have stuff to do with her Cricut. Well, if you're just wanting to do Cricut size stuff, depending on the workspace of her Cricut, well, I guess if she's going to do stickers though, you could actually do bigger things and put a sticker on them. So there's a lot of good machines out there, Ken. If you'll just go to, if you can go to my playlist. I've got a playlist for reviews. There's a bunch of them there. You can go just ask people in the laser engraver community page. There's a lot of guys out there do different stuff. I have a few machines that I prefer over others for different aspects, but my situation is a lot different than yours. Mine's unique. I have multiple machines, and so I can get away with it. I can get away with it a little easier.
Piece of advice about my machine.
Sure. Klein wants to. Here it is, guys. You get your chair where you ain't got your head cut off.
There you go.
Klein's going to give y'all advice on
Let me say
purchasing
this
machines.
About, buying a machine. All right. Now, if you buy a low watt machine, a small machine, because you just want to do tumblers or do this or do that, you're going to end up buying another machine because you're going to start with those tumblers, just like I did. I started with little small things and thought, wow, you know what? I think I can build something bigger, and then bigger, and then bigger, and then bigger, and then, it goes from there. So, kind of shoot for the moon. Don't go crazy. Depending on what your budget is, because you're going to end up wanting to do more and more and more and more. So if you get a very small laser, then you're going to want to upgrade that laser at some point. So the better you get at it. Just saying.
Yeah, if you can afford it. Brian said the best advice is to live near me and borrow machines from me.
That's the best way to go, but
Yeah, well, people ask me a lot of times, what's a good machine for my first laser? And first laser is right, guys. I'm addicted to it. I mean, there's always going to be something come out that you're going to be like, oof, I wish I had that. Adam Stack's A24. If I've got it, and I know Steve's got it. As far as an entry budget machine that is very capable, like if you're wanting to do tumblers and some small burns and stuff, that would be a good one to start with. But like Klein said, you're going to want a bigger work area because it does have kind of a small footprint, and then you're going to start looking into the Aitzers and the X Tools and the other different brands, and there's a lot out there. But first off, figure out how much money you're going to spend. Keep in mind that you're going to need to get a honeycomb, some type of an enclosure, all that kind of stuff. So if it's hard to beat this guy now, I will say that. I haven't had it very long, but I know they sell this in a 20 watt and a 10 watt, but this Rolly it's impressing me. The work area is not massive, but it is very close to that 400 by 400. And it pretty much comes with everything you need to start making smoke. You just plug it in the wall, plug some stuff up, and you can start making stuff, even if you don't like working on them. So give it a look if it's in your budget. But if you're looking at more of the lower end budgets, Adam Stacks makes some really, good machines that aren't very expensive. But then you got to get an enclosure and you got to get all the extras. So just pay attention to what's out there. So, but I don't want to talk too much because, like I said, until I get a chance to really run this thing through the paces, so far it's impressed me. But I know it's expensive for the 20. I wonder what the 20 watt is. I know the 30 watt is very expensive. Let me see how much they're going for. Products. MK2. Well, oh, the MK2 is. Let me see if they got any of the other ones. No, the MK2 is pretty much what they've got on their site right now. Let me see here. 10 watt without a rotary. Ships now. Sold out. Oh, they're sold out. So the Rolly, you may have to look at the Rolly if you're wanting to get an all-in-one setup. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm really liking it, and I don't see anything that's gonna change my mind from what my research tells me. So check it out and see. See you in North Alabama. Have a good one. I'm just waiting on. Are you about done?
Mm-hmm.
Brady says you got supper if you want to eat, unless you just want to roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna get home, but I want to put these handles on here right quick. Do I go ahead and drill my holes?
I would recommend you just make sure your holes line up first. Put your handle on there, make sure they line up, and then yeah, I would probably pre-drill them a little bit just to make sure you don't split that board. Then you can use the. I've got. Well, you just use that one. Just don't go in there. Don't go in there and countersink it. Just use a pre-drill tip. But yeah, Aaron, the P20 is not a bad machine either. Roku sold out. Sounds like an easy 200 subscribers for Chris. Oh yeah, Rolly apparently sold out. I didn't realize that until I went to their site a minute ago. But yeah, I'm hoping it's an easy 200 subscribers before Christmas. It's actually been doing pretty good today at catching some subs. So that's good. I actually feel like I'm like getting there on a YouTube channel when I hit 20. I won't rest until I get over 100 because I like goals. But 20 is definitely awesome considering that we just kind of started on this venture a little over 2 years ago, like seriously trying to start it or trying to grow it. Brian, I don't know that was the cause and effect. I do have an affiliate account with Rolly, and I haven't seen that much activity on it. So, but if you do decide to get a Rolly, like I said, you can use my affiliate links, and if you buy one, it doesn't cost you any more money, but it will let them know that you came because of a video from my channel, which is cool. Gives me a little credit with some of these companies as far as who watches my videos. But so far, I've got 319 clicks. I will say that, just not a whole lot of people bought, but a whole lot of people looked anyway. But yeah, Chris, they probably gonna. I would imagine they would step up their production between now and Christmas to try to keep up with demand if they can, because everybody knows that right now till Christmas is going to be hot for lasers. Maybe even afterwards, because I mean you could technically pre-order somebody one, I guess. But that would be a little depressing when you open your gift that morning and it was just like an email. Yeah, Brian, that's what I thought. I got 319 clicks off my Rolly Live. So not bad. Dale, material, humidity, a lot of that stuff comes into play. Make sure you're using Air Assist if you can. I know some of the Kintox don't have Air Assist, but Air Assist and a honeycomb is a big help when cutting materials. And also, you might want to check, make sure your lens is not dirty. But wood is a natural material, and in places it's going to be harder than others. If it's a consistent problem, my recommendation is to back your speed down a little bit. That way, you know for sure it's going to cut all the way through, because nothing more aggravating than cutting some kind of intricate design and you got little pieces hanging all over the place, and you got to go at it with an X-Acto knife. What's up, Foiled Duck? How are you there? But anyway, guys, I'm going to make sure that, well, now I will say this, Sir Ray, workspace is a consideration. 12 inches high is all you get with the S1. That's one of the things, one of the gripes I have about the machine is they could have at least made it 16 by 20. I mean, that wouldn't have made that big of a difference uh, in the cost of manufacturing, I wouldn't think. But that's one of my things that I don't like about the X2 is the fact that my D1 has a taller work area than my S1. I feel like they kind of took a step back on that. The Rolly, however, you're closer to 400 by 400, which means you can do things bigger than 12 inches up to. Don't make me lie. Let me do my math. I'm terrible at math. 400 divided by 25. So you're looking at close to a 16-inch work area. So with the Rolly, you're almost 16 by 16 as opposed to the 20 by 12. So yeah, Brian, I'm the same way. If they'd have took it and made it 400 by or like 16 inches by 20 inches, I think that would have been an awesome size. But everybody's trying to follow Glowforge, and like you said, they kind of set the bar on that, I think, and people are hung up on it, and I don't understand that. Um, but I don't work for those companies. I don't build lasers. Now, I wouldn't mind. I've thought about building my own, uh, but I'm gonna be honest with you. That's the closest thing I've saw to if I built a laser. That's what it would what it would look like. Rolly has used the same camera that I use in my enclosures, or at least if they didn't use the same camera, they use a really, really close camera. It's a fisheye lens camera mounted about 12 inches above the workspace, which is what my portable clack shack enclosure is. And it just looks cool. And the fact that the honeycomb is basically a jig right out of the box is awesome. Yeah, foiled. That is the Rolly, and it is. It's a lot cooler when it's lit up. Hang on. Uh, but for those of you that don't know, the Rolly comes basically just like you see it. Now you can get it without a chuck, with a chuck. That's the 30-watt version of the MK2 that they just came out with. Uh, it has the linear rails. Everything's tucked away nice. They did a great job of cable management. It has drag chains for both the air hose as well as the wiring. Fully enclosed, but yet it's because it's got the acrylic all the way around it. You can see in from any angle except the bottom. It does have a removable centerpiece in the bottom that you can take out if you wanted to lift it up on, like set it up on a table and put things under it. Uh, you could just use 2x4s as risers or paint cans like we've always done, whatever you needed to do. The honeycomb in it only fits in one location, and it has pins that it sits down on. There's holes in the edge of the honeycomb that hold it in that position. And what that does is that basically makes the honeycomb a jig, which is awesome. This machine's cutting at speeds well over what most of the 30-watt machines I've ran does, so I'm really pleased with that. The Z-axis on it is really smooth. It doesn't have power Z, but it's got a knob that you can turn and it raises it up and down. They did a good job with the gear ratio. You don't have to sit there and turn on the thing forever. You can adjust it really finely once you get it where you want it. There's a tensioner on the side of the module there that you can tighten up, and it's not going to move. The machine's made out of this silvery metal. And I have went over it with a fine-tooth comb, guys, trying to find something I could ding them for because I don't want it to seem like I'm just singing praises. I got one thing that I found, Rolly, that you missed. Where am I supposed to put the focus tool? That's all I got, guys. That's all I have found is they didn't give me a dedicated place for the focus tool, which is not a big deal. It fits on the ledge on the right over here. And it's out of the way. But that's all I came up with so far. You see the camera in the top of the lid. It does have automatic air assist. The air assist pump is powered off of the machine. So when you plug it into the wall, you only take up one receptacle. That's an advantage where I've got it sitting because I'm running a lot of stuff off the power strip back there. and it's got a 4-inch fan in the back, not a 3-inch fan. The X-Tool, I don't know what they were thinking, but the X-Tool S1 has a smaller fan than the Rolly does. And that fan, although it's not quiet, it does a really good job. Now, it's a lot quieter when you close the lid. Oh, and it also has removable pieces in the front and the back so that you can do a pass-through. So if you're doing something longer than the machine will allow you to close the lid on, you can take those little pieces out and you can stick a piece of 6-foot long board in there. Now your engraving area is only going to be limited to the size of the workspace, but you could engrave something larger than the machine is. So fold, I mean, and like I said, there's 1,000 reasons why to pick one machine over another. And if you like X-Tools whole thing, then that's great. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I used to didn't like their software, but they've came a long way with XCS. The S1 having the active pointer system is what I'm going to call it. It works really good. The Rolly, I'll tell you exactly. Let me pull up Lightburn and swap over to the Rolly so I can tell you exactly what it is. It's right around the 400 by 400 mark, but give me a second and I'll look and see what it's actually set to in the settings. Let's see, edit. The Rolly is 410 wide by 390 deep. So, you know, just a little shy of the 16 inch by 16 inch on the height, but it's still better than a lot of the other machines. Fold with the 30-watt module, that may be, you know, it may be a little bit bigger if you got the 20 or the 10, but with this 30-watt module, the file they sent me, mine's 410 by 390. And the module is going to, you know, if you get a bigger module, it is going to eat up some of your work area. So that's, and hang on, I'll show you my screen here. So this is the Rolly Lasermatic right here. Let me change my camera. Did I have the camera plugged up even? I did have to restart the machine the other day to get the camera after I first installed it. Give me just a second here. But I have checked the camera as well, and it is very accurate. Klein was actually here, and why is it not updating my overlay? But I may have to unplug it and plug it back up. But you can see here, the file they sent me, it's got it defaulting at 410 by 390. And that's probably because this module is bigger, because it's not really affecting the width as much, but it is peeling a little bit off the height. But that's, you know, with the bigger module, there comes issues. Let me make sure I plug the camera up. It may not be liking my hub. Yeah, I don't think that camera's liking my hub today. I may have to reboot my computer again. We moved everything around after I booted the computer. And the camera and my computer, I don't know if it's Windows or what, but the camera likes it when I boot it up already plugged in. I will tell you that. It works great though, but I can't reboot the computer with you guys in a live. So, Lisa, I have a whole bunch of videos of different things in Lightburn, but I am not the authority on Lightburn. Rich over at Louisiana Hobby Guy is more of the authority on Lightburn. But I do have a few videos if you like seeing the shack. There are some out there. I've got a like a crash course for Lightburn, but you can go into my videos and just take and type the word Lightburn in there, and because I try to always put a keyword that you can search in my videos. So if you just go to my content, go over to my videos and hit the little search box right above the videos and hit search. Hang on, I'll show you how that works. But when you search, you should be able to find any videos that I have that contain the word Lightburn. So here we go. So what you'll do is when you go in, you can go over to my videos here, and then you can hit this little search right here and type in Lightburn. And it's going to bring you up any of my videos that have Lightburn in the title, which is going to be a lot of designing and setting stuff up and so forth. So, but yeah, that's how you would do it. Like I said, just go over here and you can click on the videos and search there, and it'll bring those up for you. So, all right, guys. Well, I hate to rush off, but I'm getting hungry, and Big Boy got to eat. So, I'm gonna have to kick out of here for tonight. But I'll try to get some content together other than just a live, so that I can, maybe share something with y'all. But today, like I said, we were working on some stuff, getting everything cleaned up, and it looks a lot better in here. And I appreciate Klein coming to help me out with that, because it would have took me twice as long by myself, and we made short work out of it. So, but anyway, if you hadn't already, hit the buttons just like the little alien up there tells you to do. Subscribe, like, follow, all that good stuff. And if you have a Facebook page, guys, I'm trying to grow my Facebook page also. So if you haven't, you can go follow my Facebook page. I think Lisa may already, because I see she's watching on Facebook. But if you haven't and you have a Facebook, please go like it, because they're about 2,500 subs or 2,500 followers, and it's like pond water over there. So I need some help with that. So I'm trying to get that thing to 5,000 so I can monetize it. So appreciate you, and till next time, be safe. Have a good day, and Klein,
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
y'all be good. See you guys.